blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Jerome Baker. 20. And he will bring it back. It's a pick-6 and a Dolphins touchdown. So they go on 4th down. Not only do they not get it, it turns into 6 points the other way. Disastrous.
And many people think you should just go ahead and knock it down in that situation. Turn it over for the offense. But I had a defensive coordinator recently tell me, we see that as a passive play. We don't do that anymore. We want the ball in our hands, and we want to head the other way.
It's probably also instinct a lot of times. If you see a lot of green grass ahead of you, go ahead and grab it.
It's the exact right play to do. That's knowing when to break the rules and when to make a play that maybe you hadn't been taught.
So they throw the pick-6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Berrios now from his end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And with a 3-score deficit staring them in the face, they might have to press the issue here and try to get points out of this drive. They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete.
But I guess that answers the question whether or not they want him throwing it again right away after throwing the pick-6 on the previous drive.
Yeah, not something conservative or underneath. Pretty big shot right there.
Get him right back in the saddle and said, go ahead and sling it, big guy.
Now, quick throw there going to be batted away at incomplete.
Tough series for the passing game. Things just aren't clicking. Hoping they can come through on this play and get this series back on track with a completion for enough yardage for a first down.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Now Wilson. He finds his man, complete. It's Wilson. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on 3rd down that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a first down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
Uncorks one for Davis. And oh, it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Javon Holland. And the Dolphins are going to take possession here as they got it at their own 4-yard line. Well, Charles, you're so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
And he will step out of bounds all the way down inside the 40. 66 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
And this is taken in at the 5. And he will reach the 5-yard line before going out of bounds. 33 yards that time. They lulled them to sleep there, so to speak. That was all set up by the running game, wasn't it?
Another example of what all offensive coordinators tell us. When the running game's operating, it really opens up the playbook, and that's when they hit them with the play action. And you can see the defenders rushing towards the line of scrimmage, then scrambling back trying to cover. Couldn't get there in time.
Well scripted. They had the big running play, now the big passing play. Second and goal from the 1.
And we got to get to the ball, team. We got to get to the ball. Let's keep moving.
Tua, a final shot before half. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Raheem Mostert in the final seconds of the first half. And the Dolphins will extend their lead here just before halftime. Well, CD, there didn't seem to be much resistance there down near the goal line.
Yeah, partner, from what I saw there, not a real good job of matching up defensively because to me, they looked like they were just in their base 3-4 package. You need bigger bodies in there in a goal line type situation. The 3-4 fine between the 20s, but not down here when you're guarding your end zone.
So with 3 seconds remaining in the half, they will line up to kick this one away. Short kick. One of the up mid will take it now. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Jets going to get the football first, and they trail as well as we get back underway in this second half. Berrios going to bring this out of the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Jets first down. Running from the gun, Johnson. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
Good yardage there on first down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making first downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your second down play.
So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yes, let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They're giving him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Back to the ground with Hall. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's second and 12. Hall again. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Now it's Wilson. Over the middle, and there's a diving catch. And this will be caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. The two Wilsons, Zach and Garrett, teaming up there. And the Jets are able to cut into this lead as they score on the opening drive of the second half. Now receiver in motion left. Now here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete. So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a 2-point conversion as far as how you're defending it?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst. And if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
So first and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. A handoff running left is Mostert, and he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there. Second down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up the score.
And he'll take this one down to about the 40. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
Flushed out right. He is going to find Hill here.
And he will have a Dolphins first down as they manage to convert, and that'll keep the drive alive.
So a moment to catch our collective breath after the 4th down conversion.
You are watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Ready? What we got? 44.
Up the middle they go with Mostert.
He's able to work free for about 6 down to the 18.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3.
70 yards on the ground for Wilson. He's got a first down. Wilson fighting, but he won't get too far. Maybe a yard, that's all, down to the 2.
The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. They'll try and run with Wilson. And he is in. Touchdown, Miami. Jeff Wilson, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Dolphins have opened up a 4-touchdown lead here in the 4th. And they would not be denied on the ground, powering it in just 1 play after they got stopped short.
And how about how many tight ends were on the field? Because in today's NFL, we think of the tight end more as a pass catcher. But this group, they tell them you've got to be able to run block to stay on this team. And they committed to it and got it done right there.
Berrios now from his end zone. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Bradley Chubb doing what he does best, getting that sack. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Wilson, it's caught. Smith. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 22-yard line. Wilson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off Byron Jones. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown.